Find $500 to $2,000 in hidden money leaks. Organize your cash flow and create a money system that actually works with the money hunt found inside the Smell of Money community. Join today. The link is in the show notes. At age 22, single mom, I filed for bankruptcy. For decades, I lived on a restricted budget, saving 30% and not paying attention to my money. In my 40s, I racked up $100,000 and didn't understand what my problem was until I realized money problems aren't math problems. They're relationship problems. Because women don't need another budget. They need a money management system that works. That's why every episode and every conversation we have in the Smell of Money community is designed to help you create cash flow, confidence, and wealth. We turn messy money into an organized system so you can make confident decisions to build true wealth. Join the Smell of Money today. The link is in the show notes. Cash flow, confidence, wealth. Welcome to iDateMoney. If you're making money but still wondering where it all went, if you're ready to organize your cash flow, build confidence with money, and create lasting wealth, you're in the right place. I'm Lisa Drennan, Wealth Activator, creator of the Money Multiplier System, and founder of the Smell of Money community. If you're a multi-passionate female entrepreneur who's making money but not building wealth, this podcast is for you. Each week, you'll discover practical strategies to organize your cash flow, keep more of what you earn, eliminate debt, and build lasting wealth with confidence. So grab your favorite essential oil, take a deep breath, and let's sniff our way to cash flow, confidence, and wealth. Welcome to this episode of iDateMoney. I'm your hostess, Lisa Drennan. And I was thinking about what words mean, right? Our thoughts are the most powerful tool that we have, and they dictate our feelings, which get us the actions, which get us the results that we have. And there's been a lot of challenges going around on, social media and this and that. And I read things and I receive them differently when it comes to money. People talk about, getting 10,000, 100,000, $1 million. What would you do with it if you got it? You're not allowed to invest it. You can't acquire any assets. Why not? Every time you exchange the value of cash for something, you're getting an asset. You're investing in it. But we think of these words as completely separate. And I think that's where our biggest roadblock comes in when it comes to money. And this is one of the conversations we get to have in my school community, the Smell of Money, where we dive into the relationship with money and those thoughts, combining the power of essential oil and tactical ways to manage the money so that it multiplies. But it all begins with your thoughts. And if that's something that sparks your interest, then click on the link in the show notes and join the community today, the Smell of Money on School. So today we are streaming live on YouTube with an amazing guest, Laurie Frenza. She has just been a firecracker. That's all every time I look at her, I think of a firecracker. And it's not because she has beautiful red hair, but her energy is so magnetic. And she is building Limitless Life over on School. It's about monetizing your story. And your story is the most powerful story that there is. When you learn how to make money online using your story, you go from idea to income and organically without complicated tech or overwhelm. And this is exactly what Laurie is teaching. Thank you so much, Laurie, for being here, for what you're doing. Your community, Limitless Life, it's been so much fun to hang out in there and watch entrepreneurs come to life, create their ideas, but more importantly, tell us what exactly is going on with them to help others So what inspired all of this?
Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you so much for having me on this episode live today. This is super exciting for me. Check off of my list for 2026 podcasts. But yeah, this came out of the kind of need that I have to bring my positive energy and just my inspiration to other people that you can. Okay. I have this infectious energy most of the time, but I do live in chronic pain and I have been since I am 11 years old, but that has actually been something that has motivated me to build a business, to live life limitlessly, to know how to take what you get in terms of income and multiply it, not just make your money and then not know what to do with it after. And so for me, I've always been extremely entrepreneurial and I always had this idea that I want to help other people, no matter if they suffer from anything or if they don't, they just have a story to tell because guess what? We all have a story to tell. And right now, especially right now in 2026, it is all about connection. If you can't connect and tell your story, even if you're an affiliate for something online, right? Even if you're building your own school community, your own course, your own Instagram, whatever it is, doesn't matter. If you cannot connect with your audience will not trust you and therefore you can't actually sell anything to them. And that's the missing link that so many people don't understand how to piece together.
And a lot of people are afraid to tell their story. I know I have a lot of guests on my show and I'm like, well, we want to hear your money story. And they circumvent it, because it's painful for some people to have to relive that. But it's all about the money mindset. It's all about how we think. And, I'm always saying our thoughts are the most powerful tool that we have because it is. And it's so simple. But what we believe is true. And where does that truth come from? And a lot of times it's not even our truth. It's somebody, particularly in our family, one of our caregivers who instilled their own beliefs on us and they became our truth when in reality we rebel against it. And then we end up going into this circle of, circumstances where I'm not making money, I'm making money and it's not consistent and I don't like what I'm doing and I'm not good enough. And it all comes down to trusting yourself and knowing who you are and what's your why. Like, what's the purpose of going out? Because so many people are chasing money.
Yeah.
And then they get it and they don't know what to do with it. And that's where I come in. And they blow it, because they don't feel worthy to hold on to it. So what is something that you used to believe about money that you found out is not true? And what's your truth?
Oh my gosh. And it's so crazy that you asked me that because I had someone come to me about this exact question 4 days ago and I've already lived through it. So I knew how to help her navigate the situation. And I feel like often, almost every single day, people purchase something, they feel like they didn't get anything out of it. So therefore their investment was a waste of their time, right? A waste of their money mostly. And I think that it's something that we have in our mind frame, our mindset since we're young, right? If you pay for something, you have to get something out of it. But sometimes you pay for something like a digital course and you might not have learned all the things or everything that you were expecting to, but there's always one piece, one little skill, one little piece of knowledge that you can take away from it that you can take to the next building block. And you investing in that thing that maybe wasn't the right thing for you is the thing that told you you can do this, you can move on, you can keep building. So it's never a wasted investment. And I thought that for so many years.
It's amazing that you had that same question. It must be important enough to talk about twice.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you think about that, there's so many things that we go back and forth and reflect. And every time I hear the word investing, there's so many different ways to invest in ourselves. And a lot of people will think of investments as buying, real estate, stocks, gold, whatever. But really, anytime we make a purchase, we're investing. We're investing in that coaching program, that course, that product, that service. But yet we don't see that. And so what comes up for you when you hear the word investing?
For me, it's a building block. right? Investment is a building block to where you want to be, where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to gain, right? You have to make an investment in order to get to your next step, even online, even in digital marketing, affiliate marketing. If you're an affiliate for someone, you have to make an investment. You could grab 100, even 200 freebies online. Okay. You could Google everything at night, but you're not really going to get the support, the juice, the real stuff that you need to get you to the next step unless you invest. And investing in yourself is the key thing that will actually tell you, okay, I'm ready. I'm doing this. I have my foot in the door and I'm going, right? Because to me, it's something in my mind that stays there that says, okay, I put money into this. I'm going to see it through. I'm going to keep going with it.
Mm-hmm. And pushing yourself. When I hear keep going, it's like I'm pushing myself. I have to convince myself to do this. Like there's these stories that we hear in our heads that tell us like, keep moving, keep going forward. And everyone thinks that making money online is so easy. There's so many get rich quick schemes. I'm not going to I shouldn't call them schemes, but opportunities. We'll call them opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities to make money, but I've never seen anybody make money quick. There's no get rich quick opportunity.
Nothing.
And people believe that if I just do, 10 days, $10,000, no, that's not going to happen. You might learn the foundation, you might get the tools that you need, but until you start to share your story and who you are, people are never buying the products or services that you offer. They're always buying you because literally you can get those products or services from anybody. But why would they want to work with you specifically? Because they heard your story and they identify with a piece of it. And they're like, well, wait a minute. She knows what I've been through. She can understand me. This is how I can relate. And when we think about anything that we do, it's relationship. There's a relationship that is the factor. And it starts with ourselves. Like if we lack a relationship with ourselves, there's no way we can accomplish anything. We might have that low hanging fruit. We might, get that instant success or what have you. But if you're not happy with who you are and what you're doing, that energy is going to come out and it's going to portray itself and magnify. And I always tell, like when clients come to work with me in the Wealth Accelerator, and they're always, a lot of them are struggling to scale or even maybe launch their business. Like, well, do you believe in what you're doing? No, they don't have the confidence to build it out so that they go through these, this little emotional roller coaster. And when you think about using your skills, your gifts and talents to create income, and I guess we'll focus it online because a lot of us are online now. What do you think is the most important tool that we can implement on a daily basis to help us tap into our gifts and talents so that we can create that income online that we desire?
Well, it's kind of twofold, but the first thing is 1,000,000% consistency. Okay. And within that consistency, and this is something that I teach when I work with my students one-on-one, I do 5-week coaching sessions at a time to really help them get in the space where they can understand that they don't need outside noise. So consistency and keeping yourself focused on you and what you're doing, because at the end of the day, you going to copycat other people or their hooks or their stories or exactly what their B-roll looks like or anything like that of that nature is not going to get you anywhere quickly. It's actually going to do the opposite in your business. So it's super important to stay consistent. And like I like to say, go ghost. Put your head down and go ghost, because when you don't do that, you have these limiting beliefs and these fears come through. And that's where we start thinking, okay, I'm embarrassed. I can't tell my story. Someone maybe in the outside, a family member, whatever it is, said something once and I can't possibly say that again. I can't possibly put myself there. But guess what? Your story and the solution that you have because you lived through it is what is going to make you money. And people know who you are, understand you, and trust you. And the only way to do that is to stay consistent.
And that's such an easy solution, to stay consistent. But a lot of entrepreneurs get frustrated because they feel like they're talking to the wall.
Yep.
and all we hear, it reminds me of the Charlie Brown teacher. Rah, 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 rah. And then we start to go after those shiny objects and think, okay, what do I need to do differently? And it's really, maybe it's just not doing anything differently. It's just being consistent with what you are doing. But then I always think, well, if you're telling yourself to do something differently because you're not getting that, it's a dopamine hit, right? You create something on social media and you get interaction. It's like, oh, someone saw it. Someone's paying attention. I'm doing the thing. And then crickets. And when actually there's like thousands of lurkers that are paying attention. And like one of my favorite ways to receive clients is someone hears me on a networking event and I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but I need to have a call with you because I want to buy your program. I'm like, well, I don't even know you. Yeah, sure. Like, I don't know what I said, but I obviously wasn't curated. And then, this is what happens. Like, the coaches that I'm working with now, I mean, I basically hired on the spot because they were aligned with what I was seeking. And if we don't know what we want, like I know so many entrepreneurs who will go online, start this thing without a business plan. It drives me absolutely crazy. I have clients who don't even have a business plan. What are you doing? Like, I had a coach who told me she didn't have a business plan. She had a marketing plan. I'm like, fine, marketing business plan. You need a plan. You need to know what to execute every single day. And it's such a simple strategy. There's so many choices. There's so many ways to market. And when you think about building a business that supports your life, instead of like working, like we leave our 9 to 5, so we're not in control. So, our boss doesn't get to tell us when we can go to the bathroom. You become an entrepreneur, which is the biggest, riskiest thing that you could possibly do to support the life that you desire. But if you don't know what that life is, your business just ends up consuming you and you get in this. And even me, I've been online since 2009, switched my niche 3 times. And there's certain times of the year where I'm like, I got to do it differently. I got to do it differently. And you stand at a crossroad and you're like, what do I need to do differently? Or somebody will tell you like, who's not even in your world, oh, I got a premonition or I got, like I'm a psychic or whatever. And you're not going to be doing what you're doing. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. So when you're building a business that supports your life, where it's in aligned, how do you feel? Like what comes up for you knowing that you're on the right path?
Well, everything that you just talked about right there is literally part of my mission and why I built Limitless Life, because I truly don't believe that any solo entrepreneur online doing anything, okay, guys, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, school, I don't care where you're at online. You cannot do it alone. Every single person needs a mentor, no matter what level you're at. And that's why I have clarity calls. And that's why I offer mentorship, because the one thing that people are missing is a soundboard. It's someone to hear them and give a perspective to them that they wouldn't have thought of. Someone that's only a few levels above them. You don't have to be 5 years in, right? You just have to know a little bit more than the person that you're working with in order to help them to see things a little bit differently. So that is a huge, huge part of Limitless Life and why I built this, because I was really tired of seeing people struggle online, not having the right support, not having the right guidance, not having someone that they can trust to really help them grow their business in the right productive way, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, we're all going to have those questions. They're going to come up all the time, even for the people that have millions of followers. They have the same questions and thoughts that you do. They just didn't give up, and they also have people around them that support them and their business. So for the people that are listening that think they bought a digital course or, they purchased something maybe faceless, I don't know. I'm just trying to put things into perspective, right? And they're wondering why it's not working. What are they doing wrong? Well, most of the time it's because you're in your box. You have not got out of your mindset that you're not really making time for it. You're doing it, but you're not really doing it. You're not really telling people why and why it matters to you and why you want to help people. And so the gap isn't being bridged on the connection part of it. And so no one is going to understand you. Okay, so you're selling a digital product from someone else, but why? Why should they purchase it from you rather than the other 50 people that are selling the same thing that have built an entire community around them? right?
Mhm.
So there was this massive need and gap in the market, in the community, for understanding how to take your story and sell it, because people want people. People don't care about the thing at the end of the day. When they trust you, they're going to buy from you. And that's story selling.
Mhm.
So it's so important to be around people that get it, that can support you, that can help you take your business to the next level. That's why I offer a few different ways for people to be able to do that, because they need to stick their foot in to do it, to start understanding that. And then once you have that support, you can be consistent. You can execute because you have someone to come back to in 2 weeks or a month or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
I certainly didn't do this alone. I have an incredible mentor too, and I am an affiliate for her course. And it's amazing. When you're aligned, you're aligned. You have to find your people.
Mhm. Yeah, when you're aligned, you know it because it's easy and there is peace and you're not hustling. You enjoy it and it makes it fun. And if you're not having fun, then stop doing it. So
100%.
yeah, and you mentioned, you've been mentioning a lot about your story. So tell us what your story is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you the shorter version of my story just because, we don't have all the time in the world, and I need a space that's calming and relaxing and where I can think and build. And that just flows into me being someone that's lived in chronic pain since I'm 11 years old. And I have just learned over time to be able to not sit in a state of, I can't do anything, I'm in a dark hole, to really taking what I have and taking my strength and building with it, not using it as a negative, but as a positive, right? Also, of course, knowing my limitations and building this business out of the need that I want to, of course, help other people see that they can do whatever it is that they desire. Your passion can truly turn into a monetized business. So
Mm.
always been entrepreneurial. And ever since I found out, actually, ever since I was literally 3 years old, I have been an artist, a professional artist. And I used to be a professional painter, but unfortunately my pain did not allow me to continue that. And so I kept evolving and evolving who I am and my business model and why I want to do things. I've come across a lot of people that really, really need the support, right? They need the support. They need the guidance. They need to feel like they are not alone, and you are so not alone.
Mm.
And so that's just a little bit about me. I've always used art as a therapy to be able to kind of heal and keep moving forward and keep using my strength in a positive way. And so I get to do that every day now online by being creative, by telling my story, by making reels about it, by creating posts about it in school, and of course, helping other people take their story and do the same.
Beautiful. I love that. And when we can do that, take our story and then share it with others, they can see themselves in us and then know and get encouraged. And like you said, having a mentor is so important because we can't do it alone. And a lot of entrepreneurs will try to do it alone. You don't have that bird's eye view. You don't have someone to bounce that idea. And that's what's most important. Because we can create so many ideas, but never execute any of them. You need to have a clear path. And so many of us think that it's 20 steps. It's not. It's 3 simple steps. It's like, choose what your message is, choose who your audience is, and choose your platform, and then execute. And there's so many different ways to market. But if it's not comfortable for you, there's so many coaches that you can learn from. But if their method doesn't work for you, then there's workshops and there's webinars and there's podcasts and there's this and there's just so many different ways. You have to find what really works for you, maybe no more than 3 different ways, but focus on one until you hit your goal. And then you can add the others and then keep at it. Even if you think you're repeating yourself 5,000 times, people haven't heard you. You've heard yourself, but they haven't heard you. So keep that consistency and that repeating. What did you want to share? You had like an aha moment.
You literally took it out of my mind. And this is something that I say to people every single day, Lisa. No one has the person that you just put a reel out to, that the first one to view it, They don't know who you are. They have no idea who you are. They have no idea what your story is. And so, well, yeah, you have to repeat yourself literally like a parrot in millions of different ways so that your point can get across and be relatable to people every single time differently. Period. And it's also really cool when you go into a community like yours or like mine, which yes, we are in different areas of interest, but we can help people with the well-rounded part of money, right? The well-rounded part of coaching online and mentorship online, because I do Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, right? A variety of different things. So I'm not just in one lane.
Right.
So it's really hard. And my mentor is the same. And so it's really hard to find people like that kind of have an overall general guide to what you're doing online, no matter where you're creating a funnel or where you're creating content, or if you're on Amazon or Shopify or whatever it may be, right? So we kind of just have to keep that into perspective when we are trying to find someone online to work with. Interview them, ask them questions, right? You're not going to fit with everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah. And it is very important to do the research so that you can find aligned, because you're the best person to make that decision. And if you don't trust yourself to make that decision and you're relying on someone else to, it usually doesn't work out because it's not your decision ultimately. And this is how we build cash flow confidence. This is how we get money coming in always, by staying in our zone, by staying in our lane, by doing things that are in alignment. Like, I love going to Pinterest and looking at nail art and saving different pins and getting recipes. I will post my podcast on Pinterest, but I will personally not create pins for that SEO optimization. Like, no, thank you. It's not how I want to market. And, if you're not having fun, we get to play where we get to play, where we get to enjoy. That's why we're playing, because we're having fun and it lights us up. And I know, I love talking to little kids, and I'm writing a children's series on finances. And I was talking to a little kid about the book about the concept of saving. And it was so fun listening to his conversation and his thought process with money. And it lit me up. I'm like, okay, that brought me a lot of joy. It was a 3-minute conversation. You want to pay attention to what brings you joy and go do more of it. Networking is one of my other favorite things to do. Podcasting, networking. And then playing on school, going into different communities. I love challenges. I love taking a challenge and implementing it and seeing what the results are, and then thinking, now, how was that challenge? Did I really like it? So tell us, to wrap things up, I know you're doing a challenge. So tell us more about that, and tell us what's the best way for our listeners to get into this challenge and connected with you to learn more about the Limitless Life.
Okay. So I am so excited about this. This is really the thing that is going to help you go from, and even if you are already in the midst of your digital business and it's just not working and you don't understand why, okay? You are going to have access to a full workbook. You are going to have access to a 2-day challenge. It's called Story to Income. There is a VIP part of that where I walk you through how to show up on camera. I give you prompts for AI, how to use all the tools, right? So no matter what you're doing, you are able to create a digital product that will actually sell, and you will find out why it's going to sell, because you're going to go through day 1, which is going to help you through your message and understand what your people need. Because once you know how to find what your audience is looking for, once you realize that the answer is already probably in your camera roll, in your lived experiences, in your knowledge, in everything that you're already doing, it goes like this, and the light bulb goes off and you're like, oh my God, why have I not thought about that before, right? Let's just take, for example, a second, the yapping challenge. Okay. The yapping challenge made over $1 million in a few days. And this literally was because this creator was incredible and listened to her audience, who was telling her, I want you to teach me this. She created what they were asking for. Too many times we are all stuck in a digital business that we don't understand why is not monetizing, because we never once thought of, do they actually need it? Are they asking for it? We just create something. We do all this work, all this time, everything, right? And we don't know if it's actually going to sell. Challenges are phenomenal. They're fantastic because it can be short, it can be long, but it gives people an immediate need for something. a solution. So Story to Income is going to do that for you. You can grab it through School, my Limitless Life community. And right now we are in the process of beta testing. And so I have 16 spots left to grab, which is really, really exciting. And then it is going to be in the community for good for everybody to be able to use and understand how to go from that idea and market it into a digital product that sells. So you can go to School, and it's going to be in the classroom, Story to Income. And then I will also pop my landing page down below in the notes. It's called story.lauriefrenza.com. Very simple, very easy to find. And you can always send me a message through Instagram or School if you want to work one-on-one or you're looking for that support because you really haven't been able to find someone that you can connect with.
Well, thank you so much, Laurie, for being here, for sharing your story and your expertise and that challenge. So for those of you who are listening, check the show notes, get into that challenge. It's evergreen. So it's like not a one and done. And you know me, I love a challenge. This is what makes us grow. And when we're focused on chasing money, we don't get money. Money comes in all ways when you're in alignment. You're using your gifts. You're showing up consistently. You have a mentor who understands you that you can bounce off ideas for so that you can be in alignment with whatever it is that you want to do. And remember, being brave and sharing your story so that others can connect with you and say, wow, I want to work with her because she gets me. And it's really that simple, but we make it so complicated because again, those thoughts in our heads are driving the results that we get. So thinking about how you're making money, what's that end goal? How much money do you want to make? And then what are you going to do with it? Reverse engineer that because it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's what you do with it. If today's episode helped you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with another entrepreneur who's ready to build wealth with confidence. And if you're ready to go deeper, come join us inside The Smell of Money, where we turn these conversations into action. Before you go, grab your favorite essential oil, take one deep breath in, and slowly exhale. Breathe in cash flow, exhale overwhelm. Breathe in confidence, exhale doubt. Breathe in wealth, and trust the woman you're becoming. Until next time, cash flow, confidence, wealth. This is Lisa Drennan, and you've been listening to iDateMoney. Keep trusting yourself one money move at a time.